Hey guys, it's Chris. Welcome back to my channel. I am in a better space, I think, for doing these types of videos. The lighting just always seems better, so this is what I'm going to be doing. If you haven't already, guys, please click the subscribe button so you get notified every time I upload a video. I have a new video out today on the 26th. I think today's the 26th, and it's a what I've been melting do's and duds review. If you guys remember my do's and duds, welcome back. If you don't, please subscribe. And I am going to do a rant video today already, I know, guys. Get your Klonopin, get your tranquilizers, like, you know, I get your popcorn. I understand. I'm just coming back into the wax world and I'm already doing a rant video or movie, a rant movie. I'm going to do my best not to edit this. Normally what I edit out, guys, just so you know, is my ums and you knows. And now because I said that, that's what this video is going to be full of. I hope not. I'm going to do my best not to. But yeah, I'm coming to you with a rant video. It's kind of, I don't know what else to call it but a rant video, because I want to call it an informative video or an FYI or a lesson kind of video, but I don't think that, I know I'm probably gonna rant a bit about it, and I really want it to be informative. What I really am hoping is that the new vendors that are out there really take a look at this and take my criticism as constructive. And I'm not going to post about any particular company because I don't really know them all, to be honest. I have just spent the last 2 weeks sort of finding companies and Googling them and getting an idea of how they work and everything like that. And I have some things to say about it. So, but for me, customer service is super important. Ease of getting wax is super important. Not being price gouged, super important as a consumer myself and for, you know, the customers that are out there. So I have 11 points here. So this is going to be a long video. So get your popcorn, buckle up, buttercups, because Chris is back. So, number one, I have on my list quick opens and closes. When I was in the wax world back in 2014, we really didn't have that. That wasn't really a thing. There was a lot of, you know, ready to ship items and shops just stayed open. I understand, and let me make this clear, like, I get in the middle of a global pandemic, a lot of people are just trying to make ends meet, right? They're just, well, my eyebrows are definitely not twins today. Or it could be just be my face. I don't know. It could just be my face. I don't know. So the people who were doing mainly wax, strictly wax, are now, you know, had to get other jobs. And so if they're still doing it, they're doing it part-time. And like, so I get it. I understand. It doesn't make it any less frustrating, you know, FYI. What I don't like about the quick opens and closes, right? So they say you're on some vendor's Facebook page, and they announce that on Friday, they're going to do a restock, a quick open. They're only going to be open for a total of 30 minutes. I don't get this. Like, I just don't get, what do you mean you're only going to be open for a total of 30 minutes? I don't understand. People have to work, and you set it for just one day for 30 minutes. People might not have money that day. I just feel like as a vendor, you are cutting off a whole bunch of people and customers that you could be getting. So this whole concept makes zero sense to me whatsoever, and I don't like it. The biggest thing that I don't like about it, I've had friends that I've been talking to in the last couple of weeks that have mentioned it to me, is that there are vendors that do this differently, and it works. You put something in your cart, right, and you're just shopping, and you go to check out, and half the items that you had in your cart are gone. because someone checked out before you. That is just absolute BS in my opinion. I would never, if I encountered that, I would never purchase from that vendor again. I just wouldn't. That is just the biggest BS ever. That's almost like you standing at Target, right? And holding on to a sweatshirt that you want to buy and someone just comes and rips it out of your hands. Like, there's nothing okay about that. So you can't buy that sweatshirt. I can't stand it. In talking to some people, I know that with these restocks or the quick openings and closes and everything like that, my biggest point about that is A, it's not fair to the customer, and B, it really is gypping the vendor. I mean, you vendors may not understand that, but you're not going to get the sales that you want to get, or you will get the sales that you want to get, but these people are so frantic at this point because of this system that you have going that I feel personally, you're just out to make money. You are not out to serve your customer. You don't even really care if your customer is pleased. And again, this is just my opinion, and it's a blanket statement. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody because there's so many new vendors that I probably do this, and this might be the new way of doing things, and I don't even know who they are. So I'm not going to specify, nor could I specify on who does this or don't. So if you think I'm talking about you, I am most definitely not talking about you because I don't even know who you are, to be 100% honest with you. I just know what has been going on from my scrolling and from a little conversation in some of the groups and from talking to some of my, my candle friends and everything like that. But you're really, screwing the customer. You're screwing yourself because you eliminate a whole section of people. You eliminate people who don't have money on that day. Maybe they get paid the beginning of the month like me. Or you announce it 2 days before and, or you do end of the month. A lot of people are especially in a global pandemic, they're strapped by the end of the month. All their bills have been paid. It's just a really bad way to do business, and it's not business savvy. So I know that sometimes, a lot of the times, I come across as very negative, and just, especially in my rant videos, I'm just passionate about it, guys. And I really would like vendors to, if at all possible, to really take what people say into consideration, especially customers that are spending their money, because you're gypping yourself because you're not going to get the volume of customers. Your customers at the point of purchase are going to be so frantic. They're just going to grab anything they can get their hands on and check out because they know the clock's ticking or they might not get it. And they're not going to expand their scent range. They're just going to buy the same stuff over and over. Or if they do decide to take a gamble and expand their scent range, they have to buy it in bulk or whatever the situation is. They're going to get their order and be so disappointed. And that's you only have one chance to make a good first impression. And so if you don't want it, but you're just grabbing it out of convenience or because that's all you can get your hands on, that sets the vendor up and the customer up for, a lot of frustration and a lot of disappointment. So I think this whole quick opens and everything is just really a really dumb move. I think it needs to be eliminated. I think that if you're going to reopen, have enough time and have enough supplies or whatever the situation is to be open for at least a couple days and announce it like a month in advance. And I'm sure there are some companies that do that. Someone had mentioned to me also that sometimes you may not lose your stuff in your cart because someone checked out ahead of you, but you only, you have 8 minutes or 9 minutes or whatever to check out. Like once you put it in your cart, it's almost like a timer starts going. Like anytime you are force feeding or pressure selling something, I mean, that's a marketing thing, guys. And customers out there, if you don't understand that, okay, I'm letting you know, that is a marketing thing. Okay, these vendors can keep their stuff open. And I'm not saying, even if they keep it open for 24 hours, or 12 hours, whatever they decide, but that's a marketing thing. They want to sell out. They want to pressure you. They want you to be under the gun on the timer. Do you make good decisions when you're under a timer? Most likely not, right? You're going to binge and you're going to grab. Do you remember those games that, I forget what it was. It was like grocery store race or something like that, where they could get as much food as they wanted, but they only had 2 minutes or something like that in the grocery store. And so they were just doing one of these things, and the majority of that stuff they wouldn't even eat or use. And that's what this reminds me of. And I just find the whole situation really sad for both parties. It is a marketing ploy to get people to purchase and feel stressed about it. And that's not how purchasing and any sort of sale should be. Any sort of point of sale should not be a stressful situation. That's not, in my mind, that's not somebody I want to buy from, period. And I don't care if someone says your wax has gold in it and it throws for 5 days straight. I could care less. Don't want to be in that situation. And I feel, I'll go as far as saying I feel that it's manipulative. It's a marketing ploy. It's manipulative. Manipulative. I said it. I said it before, but it is. And you guys know what I mean. So for customers, just realize what it is. Read between the lines, because that's what it is. Scent shots being way over $1. It drives me crazy. Guys, a scent shot, for the most part, is going to hold, 2 ounces of wax. A scent shot's being over $1 an ounce. I mean, I understand inflation, and then on top of it, you have to pay shipping. Now, I understand shipping's gone up. I get that. I understand that. So don't come for me on that. And I hope nobody comes for me at all about any of this. This is just, again, things that I've noticed. But when I bought back in the day, things were rarely over $1 an ounce. Now I am seeing stuff go for close to $5 an ounce. I don't care if there's Lamborghini keys in that wax. This is amazing to me that people think that their wax is so good that they are justified to charge that amount. And again, customers, wake up. They will do that as long as you purchase. Now, if you guys just have money to throw away, good on you. Okay? I just think that it's horrendous. I mean, I understand asking $1 an ounce is maybe not feasible from 2014 to 2021. Maybe fragrance oils have gone up, whatever. But when you're getting into, it's a scent shot or it's 3 ounces of wax and I'm going to charge $5 for it, or even more, like $5.25, something like that, I'm like, no. No. And, from back in the day, that kind of started to happen. And from some of the newer companies, and everybody was raving about them. I got some and I tried it. No. And it was not worth it. It was not worth the money. Wasn't worth it. So again, I feel like people come in and, because Candles by Victoria, I mean, I'm going to keep mentioning her, but I'm sorry. She runs her shop clean. She runs her shop, and there's other vendors, but I'm just, Beezy's, for example, still is like $1 an ounce, whatever the deal is. Candles by Victoria is $1 an ounce. It's like, you guys are, and Candles by Victoria, she does, everything is handmade and everything like that, hand poured, handmade, custom. She does a lot of customs. She puts a lot of work in. Now, okay, Is Candles by Victoria a lot bigger than some of these shops that we're seeing? Yeah, probably. She's like a well-oiled machine. She's really got, you know, her vendors that, you know, she's just been able to figure out the good algorithm to keep her costs down. And maybe some of these new vendors that are really, really small they just buy whatever they can get, and they don't know what the prices should be on stuff. That's really when you should take the advice of other vendors. Like, where do you get your stuff? I notice your stuff is a lot less expensive than mine, but I had to buy these scent shot cups, or I had to buy these cello bags, or this is where I buy my fragrance oil, and it's expensive, and so I got to charge this amount in order to make any money. And really listen to veterans, guys. You know, people who've been in the business 6, 7, 8 years. Like, really listen to veterans, because they know and they have the connections. So if any veteran ever like reaches out to you and asks, you if you need any help because you've just started out or whatever, or maybe you're not, please listen to them. Don't get insulted. It's never any, ill intent situation. It's just a win-win for both parties. Why do you want to charge almost $5 a scent shot because you're paying more for your supplies than somebody else is, because you just don't know, where to get it, where to get the deals on the supplies, and you're turning customers away. Like, they're just like, there's no way I'm going to pay that amount. Like, I won't pay that amount. Not going to happen. It won't do it. So, and I'm sure there's many others too that won't. If I'm going to place an order, I'm going to place an order. I'm not going to buy, I've got $30, and so with almost $5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, I get 6 cent shots. What? No. You know what I mean? And then I got to pay tax on top of it, which is usually about $8.99, in that range. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah. So 6 cent shots and $30. And then my order is like kind of up to $40 for 6 cent shots. That's insane. That's just crazy, crazy insane. So if you guys have vendor friends, or even just reach out to somebody who's been in business forever and their stuff is amazing, but it's reasonably priced and everything like that, let them ask some questions. Like, where do you get this, or where do you get that? How much do you pay for this? Because I get it that you're going off what you pay. Now, there could be vendors out there that are not going off what they pay. They could pay a nickel to create that scent shot, and they're still going to charge $5 because they think, I got the best wax in town and people will buy it no matter what. And you know what? You're right. Some people will buy it. Okay? But you're going to come and you're going to go. Because when you get a vendor who is very reasonably priced and does all of these things that I'm speaking of, great customer service, doesn't, has ready to ship items, doesn't, do the quick opens where you can lose stuff, is reasonably priced, smells amazing, whatever, you're gonna fall by the wayside. We've all seen it in the wax world. We've all seen it happen. Vendors who get too big for their britches. No RTS. That's my third one. This is a hard one because, again, I understand, it's supply and demand, but I know a lot of people. I was on a thread and people were complaining. Like, where's all the RTS shops? Why do you guys not have at least, I don't know. It would have to depend on how big your scent list is, but, your top 20 cents, right? Have it ready to ship so people don't have to deal with these orders, these quick orders and these restocks and everything like that. I just don't understand why people don't. I mean, if they're your best sellers, I can understand you making some obscure, I like the obscure scents. So you wouldn't probably have ready to ship in those, because I get it. I'm not the typical, pink sugar fan, zucchini bread fan, whatever. I like those things, but I'm saying that's not my go-tos. If you were doing Nog Chomp or Patchouli or whatever, and that was on your ready to ship. And then after a certain amount, you're like, oh, this is gonna be sitting on my shelves forever. Like, I understand that. But if you pick like your top 20 best sellers that you always sell out of, that you're just like, and have ready to ship items available for people, it's crazy. I mean, you're pouring anyway. Just do it. I don't understand. Because you would have a more constant flow of customers, and maybe you don't want that, which is sad. Like, if this is really your passion and it's really something you want to do, I understand we all have lives and life is hectic right now, but if you can't make the time and the commitment for it, I would think ready to ship would be easier, to be 100% honest with you. Why not? Why not do it? Why not do it? Pre-orders, again, don't like it. I think it is horrible. I think you are, as vendors, chopping off a whole section of customers that you could have. And then, you just have the same customers all the time. But at some point, they're going to buy too much wax and they're going to stop buying. Because I've been there, believe me, with 25 to 30 Sterilite bins all over my living room. That was me at one point. And at some point you just say, okay, gotta stop. This is ridiculous. I gotta eat. I gotta pay bills. I have to. So you're just cutting off a whole section of people. So I haven't had enough experience with pre-orders. I know back in the day when people started doing pre-orders, again, it causes sort of that mass hysteria, which it feels very manipulative to me, to the customer. I just don't like it. And then you've got the customers who don't have the money feeling left out. So if you want to do pre-orders, great, but have some RTS for people also that can't do the pre-order that week or whatever. We always had pre-orders, and then we can contact the vendors and make custom orders if we want, or whatever the situation is. So again, this goes on to my next number 5, which is can't take constructive criticism as a vendor. And you guys may say, oh, okay, this is, a lot of vendors may watch this and say, I don't like it. Or a lot of stands of certain vendors who do some of these things might, be like, I don't like this video. That's fine. You don't have to like it. First of all, you don't own the shop, and I'm only trying to protect you, the consumer, from some marketing ploys that go on and letting you be aware of some things. So if you don't like that I'm trying to protect you, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. And vendors, customer service is first and foremost. So really be open to constructive criticism. I mean, if someone gets online and is bashing you, or someone gets online and is just calling you names or whatever, nobody deserves abuse, obviously. But really take a good hard look. If someone, and this is stuff that people will never admit, vendors will never admit, and again, I'm blanketing this statement, guys. So people, because I don't have people in mind particularly. Well, I can say Shay Sense, for one. She never used to be like this, so I don't know what's going on. And I am melting something from her right now, and it'll be in my next do's and duds, and it's horrible. It's horrible. Old, horrible. I'm getting nothing. I'm wasting my time. And I emailed her with some constructive criticism and asked her. I wasn't asking for a refund. I wasn't asking for any of that stuff. I was asking, how old is this wax? It's not throwing. There's absolutely zero cold throw on it. Like, what's going on? And she said, after 8 years in business, this is the first complaint I've ever had. Which it's not, because I had complained in 2014. So not about the scents. It was about her packing and the kind of cup she used and stuff like that. And so, again, I've never heard, oh, so you bat 100 out of 100, right? Come on, guys. We're not superhuman. Like, you guys aren't superhuman, everything like that. So vendors, please, anytime I ever test for a vendor who has come to me and I have given them constructive criticism, I've also said, okay, you know what? Let's take a step back. Let's figure out what's going wrong and work on this. Because once again, you only have one chance to make a first impression. Now, maybe you think you've made your first impression and you think it's lovely. It'll wear out. It kind of reminds me of YouTube, you know, like if someone is super popular on YouTube and popping, you know, their fame is up to here, but slowly but surely they're going to fall off. You can't stay up here forever. And you need to learn to adapt and to listen, less talking, more listening. Listen, Linda. And to what your customers are saying or what other vendors are saying, or what advice they're giving you, or people like me that review or test. You really have to look and say, you know what? That wasn't something I thought about. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, or maybe that was good advice and I should do that. And really, really take a look at yourself. It's hard to look in the mirror. And especially if you consider something your baby and it's something that you really, really love doing, I understand that and it can sting, but that doesn't mean it's bad. There's a difference. I will never go to a vendor and contact them out of spite or out of, I was going to say jealousy. What do I have to be jealous of? You know what I mean? I'm a consumer, so I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's never going to be with ill intention. I just want to help. So if something's not working for me and I can help them in the right direction to make them better and everything like that, then that's what I'm here for. That's what I do. The other thing is, let's see what's next on my list. Using the wrong cups and bags. There's so many vendors that I talk to, and this used to happen all the time back in 2014. Using the wrong cello bags and using the wrong cups, and people insisting it was fine. No, it sucks the scent right out of the wax, and you have people that are going to bash you. They are going to, again, you're not caring about your customers. Yes, those might be cheaper, you know, containers or cheaper bags or whatever the situation is, but educate yourself. I mean, to me, I don't feel like you should even have a shop that's open if you're using the wrong bags or the wrong cups, period. You didn't do your research, obviously. Scent shot cups have to be 5 pp, period. If they are not, it's going to suck the scent out. Your customer's going to get it. Maybe they don't melt it right away because it's got a cure. And a month later, you know, they open it up and it smells like nothing. No, of course it does. You know? And I've even seen scent shots that the oil in the wax, if they've used the wrong scent shot cups, and I've seen the oil disintegrate, literally disintegrate the bottom of that scent shot cup container. And when I contacted the vendor about it, they didn't want to hear it, and they said, nope, I've never gotten a complaint. Our cups are fine. There's no bottom to the end of this cup. Or I pop it out and the bottom little circle, you know, I'm looking at a scent shot cup, empty scent shot cup with a hole in it because the plastic is stuck to the bottom. Okay, you're right. There's nothing wrong with the types of containers you're using. Do your research before you open, and if maybe you didn't, maybe you were in haste, or you got advice from somebody that this was the right way to do it, and so that's how you did it, only to find out, guess what? We're not right all the time. You know, nobody's 100% right all the time. We make mistakes, right? So when you find out that that's not the case and that's wrong, have no issue changing it. Change is good. I mean, just don't get butthurt about it. Just change it. Fix it. You made a mistake. Okay. Hopefully, you'll have customers that will give you a second shot. If you are nice and you email them and say, hey, listen, I've been using the wrong cups. I'm sorry. I figured out what the problem was. You know, can I send you a few in the new cups to get your confidence back and get your loyalty back, or whatever the situation is? And please let me know, is it much better? Because as long as you're honest, that's what's going to bring customers back if you've lost them due to a situation like that. Only offering a whole bag of 1 cent. I don't know when this started, but what happened to scent shots? What happened to, you know, being able to order single items so that you can try them and know if you like the scent or not? I don't understand. I mean, it feels lazy to me. It's like, no, I'm going to pour a whole bag of something instead of, it's like you're pouring it anyway. Why can't you put in a cello bag and sell it individually, or sell a 2-pack? Why? Why do you have to sell a whole bag? I don't want a whole bag. I'm not a loaf girl. And if you go back to my 2014, 2015 videos, you will see that there is very, very rare instances. A lot of times, if I can get a loaf in a D-stash and it's a scent that I know I love and I will melt continuously, and the vendor is someone whose wax can stay stable for long periods of time, then great. Plus, I would only really buy a loaf to share with friends. That was just kind of my thing. I don't want to melt, and I'm just gonna use pink sugar again as an example, 5 pounds of pink sugar. When you're selling your stuff in bags of single scents and that's all people can get, you don't do individual scent shots anymore. People can't, you know, they don't, you're limiting again, because it's like, and I think, and I feel again, it's taking advantage of, because these poor people are like, I really want to try Amish bread. We're just going to say, for example, and I really want to try it from this vendor, but they only sell bags of it, and they get it and they pop one in out of their 20 or whatever, you know, the deal is, and they don't like it. What do they do with that now? That's, you know, I don't know, $7, $8, $12, whatever you guys sell it for. That's down the drain for them. And I don't like it. Again, it feels manipulative. Maybe it's easier for you as a vendor to just make a whole bunch and shove them in a bag and sell it that way. You know, I get these onesie twosies might be a little more time consuming and might be a little more, but I mean, you're making a whole bag of that stuff anyway. Again, remove it, put it in cello bags, so as a 2-pack, sell it like that. You know, but people only do loaves or only do huge bags of something or whatever. It really limits what customers can buy, and it's not fair. It's just not right. It's not fair. I don't want to sound like a toddler. It's not a matter of not fair. It's not right, period. Because then they've paid like $8 plus shipping, and they melted one tart and they just couldn't melt anymore. It wasn't their scent, and now they're stuck with that. I mean, that's not fair. It's just not. I mean, that's a reason too why I don't buy in bulk. You know, unless it's something that I know I love, I'm not going to buy in bulk. And I know keeps. It's just not going to happen. Okay, so putting over 2 cents, max 3 in a custom, or even if it's not a custom, okay, in one item, whether it's a scent shot, we'll just say scent shots for now, right? But even if it's a loaf of something, you are never, that customer is never, I mean, I've seen pink sugar, blue sugar, leather, patchouli, banana bread, cotton candy, watermelon, fizzy, whatever, and that's literally the label description. Guess what? You have just ruined that loaf of wax, because that person is never going to get all those scents. Now, may it smell good? Sure. But I know there's other people like me that if you give me a scent description, I want to smell what you are describing that scent as. That's why I do wax reviews. Just because I do a wax review doesn't mean like I don't only do the throw and how long it lasted, how many days, whatever the situation was. I also do the scent description and was it true to scent? It's the same thing with vapes. You know, when you get something like this is I'm vaping on this right now. It's called Psycho Unicorn, and it's like a strawberry funnel cake. Okay? Guess what? That's what it smells like. It's easy. Strawberry and funnel cake. Those are the 2 liquids that go in that. Okay? The 2 flavorings. Once you picture a rainbow, right? Or a box of crayons, like, but a rainbow of crayons, right? You start coloring, and you start coloring, and you add one, and you do yellow and orange. Oh, look, that makes red. That's cool. Blue and yellow. Oh, that makes green. Look, that's cool. When you turn around and you take every color in that crayon box, what do you get? You get brown. You've just ruined it. And honestly, like, that is crazy. So, because you also have to realize, and as consumers, maybe you don't realize this either, be careful when you do customs. Be super careful. The simpler, the better. I'm not saying you have to stick to one, but every scent, every fragrance oil has probably 3 to 5, sometimes even more, 6. I've seen 6 or 7 notes, fragrance notes within that one oil. So if you are now mixing, so we'll say 5, right? And you want zucchini bread, pink sugar, leather, such and such, okay? 5, 10, 15. Okay, you've already got with 3, just combining 3, you've already got 15 different fragrance notes. There's no way, it is not scientifically possible, okay, that you are going to get those notes. And there might be, like, you might see, oh, amber's in it, or patchouli or musk or whatever, and go, ooh, I really want this. It's gonna smell like that. Oh my gosh. And then you get it and it doesn't. No, it can't. It just can't. There's no way it can do that. The molecules, fragrance molecules, like, it's just not going to happen. So I don't understand vendors that sell things, name it something, peace and love, and it's every hippie scent in, it's patchouli and nag champa and dragon's blood and, vanilla and, sandalwood and driftwood and, like, whatever, and then each of those scents has 4 or 5 different fragrance notes in them too. I mean, at that point, what do you have? You have a mess is what you have. And it's not going to, and these poor people are buying it and going and being disappointed. They're like, oh, I don't smell the pink sugar. It was called pink sugar, cotton candy, blue sugar, patchouli, chocolate, coffee. And oh, I don't get the coffee note. Well, no kidding. I mean, that's something that, just stop doing it. Just like, don't offer it. Tell customers, even if customers say they want it, they want all that, explain to them. That's not going to be a good, I'm just letting you know, that's not going to be good. It's not going to turn out the way you think it's going to turn out, okay? And I mean, I've learned this from experience myself, making customs. Oh my goodness, sometimes, yeah, I want all of it in one. Cram it all in one bag, cram it all in one loaf, cram it all in one scent shot. Absolutely. It never works out. Ever, 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 ever. I'm always disappointed. So just be careful, guys. Vendors just don't do it to your customers just because they don't know any better. Just because you can do it doesn't mean it's a good thing. Remember that. Just because you can do it doesn't mean it's right, nor does it mean it's a good thing. Okay? Using too much glitter and dyes in your wax. Huge, you guys. And if you see wax vendors that just their stuff is so saturated with glitter and dyes or confetti, whatever the situation is, be careful, because those dyes and that glitter, again, you're talking on a scientific molecular level, that all that stuff is going to dilute your scent. It's going to have a reaction with the fragrance oils. It's just not a good thing. When I order my Candles by Victoria, she asks, do you want a dye or no dye? It's always no dye. Give me white wax, period. If the fragrance oil happens to have a little bit of color and I get a nice pastel something, that's fine. People are so into what looks good. Just because it looks good does not mean it smells good. So, and you saturate something with a dye, think of a sponge, right? a sponge can only hold so much before it's full, right? So you have a wet sponge, okay? And then you're trying to wipe down your counter and dry it off. It can't absorb it. It's like, and it's the same thing, except now we're talking about releasing it. It's a molecular thing, guys. It's science. Those of you who are new, who, thought I don't know anything, I do. I know some stuff. I don't know everything, but I know some things. So vendors don't do it. And guys, buyer beware of things that are super highly saturatedly dyed, or there's so much glitter in it that, you could scrape it off with a knife and just have glitter all over the place. Save the glitter for your eyes, not your eyelids, your eyeshadow. Next is having friends and family test. This is specifically to vendors. That is a huge no. Shops that open up and are like, oh, no, I've had all my friends and family test for me. No, find an independent party. It doesn't have to be me, you guys, okay? But find an independent party, someone you don't know. That's why when I was testing back in the day, vendors trusted me, because it was like I always gave my honest opinion. I'm not saying your friends and family are trying to be dishonest to you. What I am saying is that they don't want to hurt your feelings, whether it's subconsciously or not. They're going to tell you your wax is good. They're going to tell you there's nothing wrong with it. That's just human nature. So if there's ever a vendor that says, oh, I've had all my family and friends test for me and my wax is awesome, buyer beware. Because I've had people do that. I've offered my services to them, and then they're like, no, all my friends and family have. And I said, okay, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, let me know I'm around, if you hit any snags or whatever. And sure enough, a couple months later, they're like, Chris, help. Why is my stuff not selling? My friends and family said it was great. It's not, or it's selling, but no one's coming back, and that's when I say, okay, let's talk it out. Let's figure it out. And, I have a system, and, we just sort of, we figure it out. Having a recommended warmer for your wax. If you get to a shop and that shop says, my wax will only throw in this warmer, buyer beware. And vendors, you should be ashamed of yourself, okay? If you have good wax, I have tested for so many vendors. It's my little teddy bear. Remember, guys? Remember my teddy bear? Still around. I've tested for so many vendors throughout the years that if their wax is good, it's going to melt. I will put it in a tea light warmer. I'll put it in one of those little bathroom plug-in warmers. I'll put it in a 12 watt. I'll put it in a 14 watt. Now, yes, it might, if it's paraffin and it's a very hard wax, it might take longer to melt, but once it melts and heats up, that sucker's going to throw. Not only now are you charging people for your wax, now you're telling them they have to melt it in something specific. So they may have like 6 different warmers, but you're like, no, you can only use this one. No, I'm sorry. If it's crap, it's crap. If it's good, it's going to melt in anything, and it's going to throw in anything. So that drives me crazy. Drives me nuts. I cannot stand it. So those are a few things, guys. Let me know if you have any more points below, and I will touch on them, because I'm sure I didn't reach all of them, of the points. But what are some of the things below, guys, that bother you and that you think should be different? Because I really want this to be an open dialogue and an open moving movie. An open dialogue and an open conversation between customers and vendors. Let's try to help each other out here so we can, meet in the middle somewhere and kind of make it the best of both worlds for everybody. So if you have something that I didn't mention that drives you crazy, or something that you love, or, whatever, post it down below. You guys know I'm always up for, with my faith now, if you're going to be just absolutely crass and rude to me, I will delete your comment. I never deleted comments before, but I am not of that life anymore, and so I will. But my audience is never like that. So, but I would like to have conversation about this. So anyway, guys, that's my rant an hour later. So welcome to the show. No, it's more of a tips video. And I hope the customers I hope you guys watching get something from it. I hope if vendors come on, they get something from it, because these are things that I have experienced. And just from a, business point of view, I've run my own businesses as an entrepreneur, and I've learned that you've got to be adaptable, because sometimes your best laid plans, they sound wonderful on paper, but when you try to actually put them into action, they just don't work. And then you got to learn to navigate and flow and move differently. Vendors, watch this with an open mind, please, because I want everyone to succeed. I want everyone to succeed. There's enough room in this wax world for all of us. I'm not a vendor, but I'm saying for all vendors. And be open-minded, and really, don't take constructive criticism. I don't even like using the word criticism, but like tips or tricks or whatever. Or, if someone has a complaint, like, don't immediately just put your defenses up, because they might have some very good points that you just didn't see. And that, you know what? So what? You're human. You're a human being. And customers, beware of some of the marketing tricks and things going on that you are, you're ride or die. You're like, oh, my ride or die wouldn't do that. You know what? Maybe you need to look at that vendor again, because maybe they're doing it right underneath your nose and you don't realize it. So blind loyalty, be careful. So anyway, I love you guys, and I will talk to you in the next one. Mwah!